Alrighty. So step one, car needs to be on some type of lift or jack so you can get under your car the whole time. I've got a fan because it's super hot. First up, we're gonna be taking off this shroud right here, this ram intake essentially. So we're gonna get that out of the way. We're gonna start the unbolting process for the air box. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug the MAF sensor. We're gonna be getting the MAF out of here. So I'll be taking the MAF out. And then I'm gonna start, once I get this part out, I'm gonna go under the car and we'll start working out the under parts of the intake. Really, you can do it from the bottom up or top up, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna get the same result either way. We'll start with the top. So first things first, I'm gonna be unplugging the MAF sensor, removing that, and we're just gonna be kind of sliding that out of the way. So I'm gonna put that over here. So MAF sensor's out, and then we'll be getting pliers or something of that nature to go ahead and get this out so we can get the sensor wires out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and take the MAF sensor out of the housing. So those will be the first things I do real quick. Like I said, for me, I'm gonna be doing from the top down. Other people may do it opposite. All right, and for these, you're just gonna kind of give them one little turn and then they just pop right out with the flathead. You just kind of want to give a little wiggle. Comes out, put those off to the side, nice and safe. And now this will be your ram, and then this will just kind of pull out. So lift up, pull out, put this over to the side, so we'll be reusing that. So you want to put it somewhere safe. So now we're down to just the air box. Got a couple bolts down there, so boom, boom. We're gonna hit those two real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting this MAF out, get this unhooked. It's got one little bolt here. We get those out, and then we'll be on our way to working on the underside. Alrighty, so we took the MAF out, and when you're doing this, make sure you get the bolts almost out the screws, but once you get close, stop. So get both of them close, and then you're gonna want to do it by finger loosen them out. Make sure you don't lose those little screws, and then put that MAF sensor in a really safe place, just because you don't want to damage it. And I recommend putting those little screws in the holes and putting that in a really safe space away from the car, maybe on a table or something where it's not going to get messed up, just because you don't want to have any damage to that. So now we're going to go ahead and get this bolt out, and we'll be a little closer to getting done. Alrighty, and once we have this bolt loose, then we're going to want to start kind of getting a flathead in between here, and slowly start prying this away, but do it gently. So, you know, just in case you ever want to reuse the master flow sensor, I mean, not the master flow sensor, but in case you want to put the stock intake back on, you want to be gentle. So slowly pry, and then that'll come right off. And go ahead and get this bolt out over here, and get these bolts out, and then this thing will come right out. Alrighty, so down here, probably gonna need an extension, or at least it would help to get an extension. It's a 10mm socket. So we got the 10mm on here. And boom. Make it a little easier with the electric ratchet. You don't already have one of these. These are good for 40 foot-pounds. You can pick one up with the battery included. It's like 80 bucks at Lowe's. Alrighty, so now we got it there. It's kind of where it's finger tight, and I'll kind of slowly get it out. The reason for that is we don't want it, you don't want to go too hard and then kind of lose the bolt. Looking to save all the bolts. So I got it finger loose. It's all the way out now. So I'm going to hold it with the ratchet, and then I'll reach in there and grab it. And then we just got this one other little bolt here, and then we'll be pulling this thing out. Alrighty, so we went ahead and got this disconnected, and this bolt is actually, the bolt right here, it's actually easier to get to from the inside. Don't cover it with my hand. That's another 10 millimeter. So from the inside, it's going to be an easy way. Super loose, like 0 foot-pounds. Go ahead and get that out, and then we'll start working our way down. Alrighty, so we got that out. Airbox is out. Got this little mount is still here. Bolt. So now you're seeing what the stock unit looks like. Got all the hosing. The hosing's gonna run down here. And go further, and then it connects down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bottom shroud off so we can go ahead and get to all of this. I probably, realistically, if I wanted to make it more difficult on myself, you really don't feel it taking off the top. You probably, the bottom, you could probably do everything from the top, but again, just reaching down there and whatnot, it's going to be more difficult to do without seeing it. So I recommend taking the splash guard off, which I'm about to do. All right, so we're under the car. You pretty much have these little pop rivets. So essentially all you do for the pop rivet is you just go under here with a flathead. You just kind of do a little wiggling, and then once you do some wiggling, they pop up. And when they pop up, then you can delicately wiggle them out of their place. That's what we're doing. I'm just gonna be wiggling them out. There's a couple of them. And basically I'm just trying to get to the underside of the car. So actually, probably not even this one, it's the wrong one. So I'm gonna be taking this splash plate off right here. So one here, one here. You can go further, and then there are 1 or 2 here, and then you're gonna have a couple kind of near the wheel well. I'm gonna go ahead and take those off. I'm not gonna be taking the whole, you can take the whole thing off, but I'm not actually gonna take the whole splash guard out. I'm just gonna get it enough to be able to see the hosing, and it's right there. So essentially I'm just getting just enough to be able to see it. I'm not actually taking the whole thing out. At least I don't think I am at the moment, just to be quicker. All right, and like I said, you can kind of do it how you want to do it. I've just done essentially like half the little rivets, just enough so I can get my hand under here and you know, get where I want to be. I'm not going to take the whole thing off, just to save myself a little bit of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing out of here. All right, so we just got a flathead. We're just gonna slowly get this thing out of here. I'm just loosening up this bolt. It's not super tight, just enough so we can, essentially enough so we can kind of pull it off. So it's not super tight on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up a little more. Alrighty, and to get this off, you gotta pry on it pretty good. Kind of get your fingers under the lip, and then it'll come off. I'm gonna go back up to the top. On the top, there's another 10 right here, up a little bracket. And then once you have that out, you go ahead and start working this thing up. And when she's out, time for the new one to go in. All right, so step one is going to be getting this coupler one. So there's 2. There's a small coupler. That one's going to connect to the top. And then there's that one's going to connect to the top to the velocity set. You get the larger coupler. That one's going to attach to the low end side. So we're going to go ahead and get this coupler out, and we're going to get 2 of these clamps, C-clamps. I'm going to go ahead and get those out. All right, so this is going to take a little bit of finessing. You're going to finesse this thing on here, and then you're going to want to slowly, move the clamp around and feel to make sure this is all the way on. So, you feel the rim, make sure it's all the way on. You got it on there snug. And now we're going to slowly, I've got a little bit of room, so I'm going to slowly kind of adjust my clamp to let it out a little bit more, so I can move it into the position that I want it in. So I'm going to slowly adjust that, and I'm going to move the clamp down so I can tighten it up a little bit. Not going to fully tighten it, we're just tightening it a little bit, just so we still have mobility if we need to move it around when we're attaching the other parts. Alrighty, so little update. One, this kind of goes in at an angle. I recommend putting the piping in first, and then so putting the piping in, lightly tightening this up, and then getting this on, because I ended up having to take this back off and then putting the piping back on just because it didn't go in exactly how it needed to. They do, I'm gonna go back up to the top. They probably should have included instructions. You've got a little bolt they include that it's the one that has that's for an Allen wrench, and that's gonna go right there. So your piping's gonna go there. It bolts right up right there. So says the size on it. That's the Allen. So essentially we got it bolted up, but it's like I've got it semi-loose, but you want to kind of be looking down there, making sure you can see it from my angle, but making sure that it's kind of flush. So make sure that line's flush, that's fully on there, so there's no leaks. Same thing for this. We want to make sure that it's actually on the intake piping. Of course, this is going to keep it still, but they probably should have included instructions, like a little 1, 2, 3 probably would have been nice, but hey, it is what it is. Just because this is different than other models because of this how it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this in velocity. So next step is you put another coupler on. So you got another coupler, velocity stack, and then on top of the velocity stack is going to be the intake, the big intake, and then well, air filter, and then we'll put the box on, and then we're done. One more thing I forgot to mention: you're going to want to slowly, very slowly, put that mass airflow sensor on. It only goes one way, but do it slow. This is plastic, so we want to go slow and easy, just until you feel it where it gives you resistance. You want to go kind of a little bit on this one, a little bit on this one, until it goes all the way in, but nice and easy, because you don't want to crack that plastic. All right, so the velocity stack is on. It's in there, got the JB4 connected, just had to move to the other side. Got the little thing, got all this connected. Time to put the air filter on. All right, so step 10,000. We got the we got it on. Now we just got to get the cover on.